Being able to quickly cut meats into consistently thin slices makes cooking stir fries, cheesesteaks, or even jerky a breeze. This is the new handheld meat slicer from Jonscook. It was sent to me at no cost to get my opinion and see what it could actually do. This is the model MS001. I'm not sure if Jonscook actually has other models, but this is an all-in-one tool that not only gives you thin and thick slices of meat, it can also chop, dice, and mince. That means you can get beautiful ribbons of meat for your steak sandwich or jerky, but you can also easily and quickly have hamburger or ground chicken in no time. For around $35, you get everything you need in a quality, compact package that's made of plastic and 420 stainless steel that is easy to use, easy to clean, and easy to store away. Now, 420 stainless steel might not mean much to you, but it's why this is actually a quality tool. 420 stainless is highly resistant to corrosion. It is the hardest amongst low chromium stainless steel, yet it's also flexible. It's often used in surgical and dental tools, hand tools, and cutlery. It is why the Jonscook meat slicer literally cuts through beef, chicken, ham, and more so effortlessly. Using the Jonscook meat slicer couldn't be easier either. You simply attach the base to the countertop and turn the switch to have it suction itself in place. Once locked, the base is not going anywhere, which is a good thing because you don't want it to be moving around when those stainless steel blades are slicing through the meat. Those blades are also why you don't want to have to hold the base in place. Having the base suction to the counter means you can keep your free hand safely out of the way. Once you're done slicing your meat, you can just as quickly disassemble the base. Flip the switch, and the base can move once more. And you can easily slide out the meat carriage to clean it and wash it. That's the other thing about the meat slicer. It's both hand washable and dishwasher safe. Once the base is secured to the counter, then cut your meat to a size that will fit in the carriage. Tonight we were making cheesesteaks, so we wanted some nice thinly cut slices of beef to cook up. I chose to make my slices very thin, which is about 2 millimeters thick with the slicer. But you can make them thicker by easily removing the insert by pressing a button and lifting out the insert. Then the meat will be cut to about a 4 millimeter thickness. So with my steak cut to size, I laid it in the carriage, and all that was required was to remove the blade and handle from its protective cover, line it up with the slots in the carriage, and then using a sewing motion, slice through the meat. The blades are so sharp, there was no difficulty at all cutting through. But that also means you must be careful. You don't want your fingers anywhere in the path of those blades when they're cutting, or you could be having Vienna sausages for dinner. The process would be the same if you wanted thicker slices of meat. You would just remove the insert, and as shown before, cut the meat in the same way. Now I'll show you how you can cube meat and dice it. After cutting through the meat once, you lift the blade and meat all together out of the carriage, turn the meat 90 degrees, and set it back in the carriage. Then you cut it through once more, and you have perfectly and uniformly diced pieces of meat. If you want to chop even finer, all you would have to do is rotate the meat 90 degrees again and cut through. It makes perfect ground beef or chicken. I didn't have any on hand, but I imagine getting diced ham from a canned ham would be a breeze. Cleanup is simple too. Just remove the carriage from the base and run it under hot water, and use the included brushes to clean out between the tines. Don't submerge the base in water though. The instructions warn it could damage it by affecting its ability to create a suction. The carriage though can be dunked in hot soapy water, as can the knife itself. It might just be easier to clean if you separate the insert from the handle. That way you have more room to clean between the blades. Just remember to use the included tools to keep your finger away from those sharp blades. Speaking of the blades, cutting through the meat over time will tend to dull them. Jonscook has helpfully included a blade sharpener that you just lightly run over each blade a few times to sharpen them. It takes just a minute to sharpen the entire set. Then slip the slicer back in its protective case for storage. In addition to the brushes and sharpener, it also comes with a swivel hook. To be honest, for a minute, I had no idea what this was for. But if you want, you can stick it to a wall, the side of a cabinet, or a kitchen cart, and it can hold your accessories. This is a really handy meat slicer. At one time, I had considered getting something similar to what you would see at a deli, but they are big, heavy, take up a lot of counter space, and they're very expensive. and they only do one thing. The Jonscook meat slicer, on the other hand, is the opposite of all that, and it can do a lot more than that single machine. I will say, I did try to cut an onion with it too, and that just didn't work out so well. So just stick to the meat. I think for the features and versatility you're getting, the meat slicer is worth your consideration. Jonscook also sells a mandolin for cutting vegetables, which I haven't tried, but it seems to be built on a similar principle, so it probably works just as good. But let me know in the comments below, did you like this meat slicer? Could you see yourself using one in your kitchen? I've left the link to the Jonscook meat slicer in the description box if you want to check out one for yourself. Okay, thanks for watching.